This is Professor Joe, your education advocate. Let me talk about Plato and his philosophy in this episode. Plato was born in Athens, Greece, around 428 BCE and died in 348 BCE. The name Plato was not his real name. His real name was Aristocles. However, the name Plato was from the term plates, which in the Greek word for broad because of his physical nature with a broad body. Plato was a student of Socrates and later became a teacher of Aristotle. Plato founded the school near the sacred place in Academus, named it the Academy. The Academy was training ground for Plato's leaders, the future philosopher-kings. Plato's family was aristocratic and were part of the 30 tyrants who seized power in Athens. They were anti-democratic and they ruled Athens after its surrender to Sparta in 404 BCE. Afterwards, 5 years later, Plato witnessed another tragedy, the trial and death of his master Socrates. Socrates was Plato's mouthpiece in all his dialogues, and he assumed Socrates' ideas in his philosophizing. Such tragedy disturbed Plato, and was unhappy about politics, and he distrusted democracy by asking himself why it is that a just man like Socrates has to die in a democratic society. Plato has turned himself to philosophy, rejecting political life, and took up the career as a philosopher. Plato's philosophical career was highlighted in his book, The Republic, where he pronounced the role of philosopher-king to lead the state. That a just society for Plato must have its leader who is a philosopher, and that every philosopher must lead as a king, because the philosopher-king knows the good and the truth, and that a republic can be built. One important dialogue in the Republic was the conversation between Glaucon and Socrates, the allegory of the cave. Let me extract the philosophical meaning of the allegory that unveiled Plato's metaphysics and epistemology. In the allegory, Plato revealed himself as a dualist and idealist. Dualism is a metaphysical theory that says reality has two parts, the world of matter below and the world of form above. Plato's narrative has Socrates showing Glaucon some kind of people imprisoned in the cave since birth, chained and facing a blank wall, watching shadows all day, as the puppeters carried images to form some shadows in the wall. These prisoners thought that they were seeing what truth is in the shadows, until one day a prisoner was unchained and given a chance to see the outside world. He was dragged and be able to find the sun where it truly is, the symbol of the good and the truth, the ideals and the world of perfections. Plato himself unlocks the symbolism of this allegory. First, the shadows for these prisoners were the only truth they knew inside the cave. They have no idea if whether there was a separate world. Second, the world inside the cave symbolized the material world, the fragment of reality that we know since birth, a reality perceived only through the senses. So the prisoners are any one of us living in this material world. Third, the world outside the cave were the intelligible world, the true world of forms perceived only through reason. And none of us inside the cave may have the knowledge of this true world until our day of liberation. Lastly, the dragging outside from the cave to the outside world symbolized the ascent of the mind to the world of forms. That for Plato, it is now revealed that he is an idealist, that the true world belongs to the intelligible world, not in the world of matter or objective world. Some takeaways in this episode. First, Plato's dualism revealed the truth of the allegory, that the world of matter is the world where we were born known by the senses, while world of form is the intellectual world, known by the mind. Second, Plato's conception of the world of form is something new in the philosophical world, and thus it has been the subject matter for criticism by Aristotle, his student, and others in history of philosophy. Third, Christianity used Platonic ideas during the Christian period to explain its Christian ideas like heaven and earth, soul and body, and in understanding true loving versus fake loving. Thank you for listening and following my YouTube channel. If you like Prof. Joe's advocacy, please like and share my other educational videos.